Hello, friends. It's time to continue investigating the adventure of the cloud. Last time, I don't remember what happened. We shall find out together. February 19th, 2:38 p.m., Bar Road. Interesting. Looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. That's right, we're gonna go see Sherlock Holmes, the great detective. Perfect! So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Why? Yes, and let's see if we'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Alright. Converse. Court record. So we have that. How do we present this? How do we present something? Oh, here it is. We would like to present a card from Iris. Sherlock Holmes lives with a child. I found out, so that's exciting. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. Very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. Wow. Everyone's so racist. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? She's 10. Give that here at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Ah, don't wait for me to give it to you. Really? Wait, what? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee. That's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right. For the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never mind you that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Oh, the little knife-wielding mustache Japanese fella. He lives in the right old hovel. Just over there, look. On the first floor of that house in the corner, where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up. Ooh, that's rough, buddy. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Garrideb. That's not what that says. I misread that very much so. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. She's 10. She's gonna be okay. Goodness. Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. Alright. That's all to be interesting. February 19th, Mr. Natsume's lodgings. May I help you? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of so-and-so? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Nohoro. Okay. Words, no wording. Mr. Naruhoro is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here? We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garden. I don't remember. Did you see that? That was a real-life English maid. I know, I understand it. Anyone standing in English societies employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this steak keeps getting better. It certainly feels that we've already really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler, and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Gar, we'll see you now. This way. Good day to you. John Garden, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryonosuke Nohoro. I always add an extra syllable. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Mowat, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to an up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting on downstairs now. I can tell you, don't get out much, you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb from here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Nohoro. Naruhodo? Ryonosuke. Just say Ryonosuke. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garda, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just full Duro, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, John? Let these good people see it properly. John, fetch that! Ah! Dash it, old woman! Be careful! Oh, dearie me! I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living a quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes. We would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only two, please, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here blighty. Okay. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. How did you know? So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Why are you stirring your... Okay. He even had some famous detective poking about, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea. All that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rance magazine here, so... Hey? No. Anyway, the chap's investigating the fort in his room as we speak. So he's in Sasuke-san's room. It's a bully nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching in its cottons now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Jolly good. About Mr. Natsumi then, Mr. Garda. Please, do tell us. Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently. I have two lodges most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available as... Ah! Dodge it all, Joan! Do be careful! Oh, my goodness! I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have the most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had a shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything? Oh my, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could have read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Well, time zones. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known the Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I'd understand that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? Understood. That's right, yes, they're both below us, on the first floor and street level. Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed. Suspicious. Ah! Good grief, Joan, be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. Suspicious. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement, just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock at dinner time in the Garrett household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the roof. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well. Yes, was there something? Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but then around. Ah! For the love of good gravy, Joan, watch what you're doing. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. She's stopping him from talking. Goodness. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow-Hollow? Oh, yes? I can't even make fun of him because I can't even say his last name right, but still, like, what are you doing? Narrow-Hollow? I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Gerda? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just traffic. Ah! Joan, dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happens. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quite uneventful meal, Joan? That's right, Mr. Gerda. What is the matter with these two? It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Could you tell us on which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak? Yes. Told me not his name, had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services. That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we had also had a look around in Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, We can speak with Mr. Schultz again. Perhaps he'll even tell us more. Yay! Okay, so we need to move to... I don't really want to look around. It's a lot of work. I don't want to... What's that? Oh. Look at the enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a quick look. Just a little peek. Maybe not. I think the maid is going to head off with a cup of tea. Is that broken over there? What's that? Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? A genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is, oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that China word justice. I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Probably something like that, but let's not delve too deeply here. Okay, we can move now. I was just curious, because it was looking a little suspicious. I'm looking forward to this. I've missed you, Mr. Sholmes. Whoa, baby. All right. What? Just look at this place and smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsumi lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garadeb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Is it a cat? I'm gonna talk to the cat. Hi, kitty. Oh my goodness, there's a kitten. Where are you going? Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master's away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mikey, was it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsumi brought his little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. Okay, I see a lit lamp. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Okay, let's talk about the brick wall. Could you even call this a window? I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although, all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? I have one like that. But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a flit of whimsy? That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. What we got here? That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, wasn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a secondhand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look, and the date of the purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Perfect. Oh, there he is. Hello, Sholmes. Where'd you come from? Ah, look, Mr. Naruto. Aha, there he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, you two. Good day. Wild. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together in the SS Burra. Yes, of course, the Burra. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kasuma Asagi. He died tragically, but you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course. The case of Mr. Asagi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh, well, you seem to remember something of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Mr. Naruto and Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Alright, what you up to? In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London, but some Scotland Yarders ambushed me on the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can just tend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of wisdom. You know? From the adventure title, The Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but unfortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression! My dear madame, I should only be too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Cool, let's talk to you. Alright, here we go. We know this to be the lodging of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was the name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eyes while feigning ignorance. I assure you I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request to me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I suppose. I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliography. Do not be deceived into believing that I'm a man of leisure. No, no, no. Oh dear. Ah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in the Great Britain Primer. And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrett. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Well, no duh. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I'm yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. But sooner or later, I said. I don't believe that that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on the households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means have inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps, rapidly closed windows up, while the rich open windows here, there, and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed, deceit was rife as a result. Some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't a very generous one. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinary low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago? Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe that the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Nanowrimo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To to the occupant of the room, this Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well, then I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Sorry, I need the finger. Oh, but I thought that's why you're here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes. That was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I'm quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garrett is? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruto, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrett's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be relevant or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruto. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Okay, oh. Oh, I see. So it'll say like, oh, we haven't been here when we need to go back. That's my understanding. Here we go. You bear again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there? Mr. Herlock Sholmes? Ah, yes. Rings a vague bell. All the detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. Now then, why don't you tell me what— Ah! For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bloody well doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Ah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave, if you'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get too much a chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrett is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing? Bah, that's a little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garrett? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron on reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well on the cannon there, Joan tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Puh, not much better than rags, really. Oh, wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know? But I'm not one for dwelling on the past me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't have to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. That looks like a Medal of Honor. It's showcased in a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? The old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the... I'm smoking my pipe like he is. I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn it on his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. Keeps the belly thing out of my way. So it's just a polish to shine by accident, I suppose? Oh, there appears to be an encryption on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, for distinguished participation. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure any officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Oh, hello, Sholmes. Oh, what's he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes! Oh, we're gonna do some detective work. Let's go. We meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here? Hello, Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever you're doing over by the window? I'm given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I looked at the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keeping an eye on one's window at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Nanowrimo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Do you mean Mr. Sholmes? There was a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Nanowrimo? I think so. There's just time enough for one of my great admirers' great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. I feel like I should put on my gamer glove. I don't know if I have it on me. Perhaps I do somewhere, but it's not over here, so... Mr. Garrett, though it would seem you're a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. Eh? And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you've lost something very dear to you. Mr. Nanowrimo, look! The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How could you possibly? How could I possibly know? You mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts! And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The game is afoot! Topic 1. Nature of the beast. It certainly took great tact to realize that a fearsome beast has been in the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might the beast take? Ah, for a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Aye. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrett, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. In fact, that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts.
What is it, piffle, I ask you?
In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you were a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house.
What?
Yet living... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. The chilling traces of wild rampage are still very much in evidence.
Well.
Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to, madame? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrett. Had Barry Stuckers. A traveling show currently sojourning in nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe.
I most certainly did not.
I believe I have made my points. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. The ring of fire. A rampaging Asiatic lion. Now, Mr. Gardner. Oh, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for the formidable beast. Indeed, in that black pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you reveal being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man, I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the directions of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given the rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Ah. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. Yes, well, Now, in the final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need look at the Tower of Cakes. What? There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or is it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sorry I don't need spell the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks on the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I saw in India.
concludes Herlockstrom's great deduction of this beastly puzzle.
What?
Ah! What is the matter with you, Joe? You're pouring scalding tea all over me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garzab. I'm afraid I didn't notice.
My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too.
Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation?
Why, certainly, Mr. Nanowrimo. What is it again?
Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think that a lion could fit inside a room this size?
Indeed, it's just only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense.
But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Gerda and his maid would have been hurt, or worse.
Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon.
I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea.
Ah, my dear Susanna, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands in British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea.
What? Oh, what a glorious notion! It's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage. That's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it!
Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner deduction to step forward, Mr. Nanowrimo.
We don't even know if this is going to help the case yet. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe.
Let us start again. From the beginning. Of Herlockstrom's logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction!
Yeah! Alright, here we go. It certainly should take us to see. Yep. A figure center these four walls. Uh-huh. Face question, what form the beast take? Uh-huh. Here he glance, leaves for your answer. He's looking at not the line. He's okay. So it's not that. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Gerda's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok in here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow his gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. Isn't it behind the curtain, maybe? Okay. Okay, what are we looking at? Mortar shells. What's that? These are shells for the cannon, aren't they? Oh, I see. What a strange place to keep them. I imagine there's some significance to him from his time in the army. Of course. He mentioned battle to us before, didn't he? Do you remember? He said he'd been shot in the knee. Perhaps it was one of these that hit him? If a round that size hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it. Or him. Yeah, it's a Persian slipper, and this man has spent shells. Perhaps it's customary to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece. What's this photograph? It appears to be from his wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. How unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. Wonder what happened. No matter cracks out the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruto. Yeah, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you want to upset, that's for sure. Oh look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. Looks like some sort of embellished sunflower.
Take that!
The bride? I would not have noticed that on first glance. That's funny. Interesting. He's so proud of himself. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride.
Precisely, Mr. Naruto. No other explanation could possibly fit.
He's so funny, I can't. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this frame pictures your wife. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Why? Indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be a stretching point. Too late, the fact remains that the beast, which is so clearly savaged this room, was your wife. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature disappear to, madame? Me? I pray you do not consider us unchivalrous, but it's plain to me that one glance your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives a handsome clue. The poor fragile defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Jones is quite right. There's no sign of Mrs. Garrett anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. The ring's right there. She's wearing a very large ring, look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. Looks like it's on there for life, too. Can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size. That's something to think, Mr. Naruto. Not to say. Do you know Mr. Garrett's wife in that photograph had a ring very much like this one? I meant to click.
Take that!
Take that!
Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue. Ah!
Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown in the hand of Mr. Garrett's bride in the photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrett's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrett herself. Oh my. Where did he get the lion from? Like, I get where there's a lion statue, but what? Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightfully surmise, this is my wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a— Ah! It would appear you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man is his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though, in my considerable opinion, no such concerns about appearances are a folly.
You mean Mr. Gerda has his wife work as a maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Gerda? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret. Please! Wait, but why did she break everything? Is she just mad because he makes her act as a maid? So weird. So weird. This is a weird one, guys. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Okay. Now, Mr. Gowdeb. It is plainly clear you still have a deep feeling for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blind pose, the stress was lost caused you very tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain to be revealed by your supporting arm. Mr. Solmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Gerda's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman that feels rather uncomfortable. But Mrs. Gerda is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, but how true! So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance? According to Solmes, his pain is tangible. What could that pose really signify? Is she abusing him? Bro.
Take that!
I mean, I guess she has been pouring scalding hot tea on him this entire time. Whoa, baby! Your hand weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you reveal is revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, to deliver that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. Was you, Madame Joan Garda? Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. I mean, what did he say that you slapped him? How the blazes. How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, oops. Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Gerda to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of gaze to find the answer. Yes, it's a pile of bills. Didn't Mr. Solmes say that the bills were all for a lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was his wife. She's a person, not a thing. Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer. There isn't really much for me to look at. Let's look at the bookmark. Just want to see it. Oh, is he cheating on her? Someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a book I see. There's a kiss mark. He's an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look at this next signature. Lip marks! Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas. Oh dear, I'm sorry. It's a love note.
Take that!
You little rascal, you. Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain or something. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note is certain Miss Mary is the fly in the ointment here. Ah!
But I don't know the bully woman.
You don't know her?
That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there.
It was just in there, you say?
That's right, that's what I've been saying. Ah! A likely story. Now listen here, Joan, old thing. I explained it at the time. I bought the book at the second-hand place, and that note must have already been in there.
So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean?
That's right, that's what I've been saying. Ah! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. Ah!
A likely story.
Are you questioning my name now?
And there we have it. Arouse the suspicious of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite.
Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack.
Unimaginable?
The aftermath of which can be certainly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken.
Oh dearie me.
What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madame, I'm afraid it's you who has to inadvertently reveal the truth to me. Your wandering eyes have them on the variants very clearly indeed.
Cakes? But surely Mrs. Garrett didn't eat the carpet? No, of course not. There doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray in this room is the result of her wild temper. That's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' seduction that we need to fix. We only need to follow Mrs. Garrett's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes. It's ripped to shreds, yes, according to deduction. The tears made in his teeth. Oh, look here. What is it? If you look close to the edge, you can see scorch marks. Yeah, it's a fire. Oh, we can't look there? Oh, it's just the candle. I see.
Take that!
There's a candle. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick.
Most illuminating, my dear fellow. And of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth.
Yes, the remnants of the ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible.
Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away.
Scorch marks?
It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation.
Mrs. Garrett's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused a candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight and the whole corner of the room in flames.
Yes,
For the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok.
Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here.
After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire.
Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you!
Yeah, I get no credit. Oh. A starving lion? I can't even say that would be that crazy for this game. Elementary. When did these get harder?
And these dash long winter nights, you know, nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material.
For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems.
Don't know about admonished. Demolished might be closer to the mark. And beasts is most certainly... Ah!
Here we go again. And the carpet, was that destroyed by a fire when a candle fell on the floor?
Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The old place filled with smoke. Could see a bully thing. I was caught between an old stick's rage and the raging flames.
You paint a tall picture, sir. One that would only one that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you.
Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started coming up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind the screen for the time being.
Over here, Mr. Gurdon? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'd allow me.
Had all my favorite novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whooshed up and spoke. Gosh. And the wife started hurling things at me.
What a terrible sight it must have been.
There was I back up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is I lost my favorite, book called The Lion's Pride.
The Lion's Pride? Ah, yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again.
I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest.
So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder.
I tell you, it was a total carnage. Flames everywhere, and the old stickin' full of fettle.
Out of interest, what time of day was that?
Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think.
So at exactly the same time as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below.
Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. How Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dash thing.
Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Nanowrimo, what can I do for you?
Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Gurdon's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? Something to do with that letter.
I can't help you there, I'm afraid.
Hold on. Who is the victim? Sato. She's only 16. That's wild. Okay, the victim's not in here yet. Okay, darn it. Because if the victim's name or the victim wrote that to someone named James, maybe.
What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not.
I just knew you were going to say that.
Now, Mr. Nanowrimo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of two categories. Those relevant to the case and those not.
That makes no sense to me.
Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now.
Sorry?
Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over.
Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps if you'd like to take yourselves to bidding us farewell now. I must prepare supper for Mr. Gurdon. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Suzuki-san will be waiting for us. And I'm going to have to give him an answer. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. I did not mean to click that. Oops. It's time! We must hurry back to the prison! Yes, I know. Let's hail a cat. Oh. What's the matter? Looks like something's going on over there in front of Gyarados' house. Oh? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you calling old man? You run like a nimby. There's more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than I dreamt of in your philosophy. Who is this Horatio fellow, eh? What are you on about? Excuse me. Eh, what the? Who are you now? I'm sorry, it just looked as though there might be some problem here. My associate here, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruto, is a lawyer. Eh, a lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on my way for today, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet! Get thee to a nunnery! Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? What? I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden thou art, so gentle, thank you. What was all that about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than a dreamt and your I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here in the Gyarados residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. This must be the other lodger. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a polemis in the battle of words, ne'er could there be. Sorry? Battle? Who is the stronger? Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances. So, fair maiden, so good gentlemen. I can carry here no longer. Fare thee well. I didn't really understand him. It seems he's unaware of what's happening to him. Visosaki-san and that man at Lodgers. The Gyarados house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. Hey! Is this student like 40 years old? Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Locum student of Mr. Naruto Esquire! I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched! We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no, think nothing of it. Relax! If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing. Okay. Oh no, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand... Oh, it's Sholmes. It is through friendship transcending the international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. It's you! The miserable, rotten spy! Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloom-filled room, and having amassed the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. Gloom-filled room? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option.
Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight and cost me not a penny. You! How dare you! Herlock Sholmes! Ugh. I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is damned! That's crazy. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed. And there's much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Curse is a whole inappropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Mr. Natsume, what do you mean by what you just said? About the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitated him. You don't mean the trial really is cursed? Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me. Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly. Yesterday, Mr. Naruto successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGill... What? I am impressed, Mrs. Otto. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes? Surely it can't be that having failed to have rescued the accused convicted, Lord Van Sykes killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Van Sykes is quite exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. That's good! Soki-san looks like he's gonna cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in British criminal law, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, while the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, where the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means that the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, as from time to time, my dear madame, it's simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Sykes cannot escape justice. The fate is sealed. Oh my. Though the education may see them leave their courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? By all matters of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh, no.
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Nordell. I knew it. I'm dead. Dodo. Done for. Doomed. Good use of alliteration, sir. When you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Girdup's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain, but I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room in Briar Road, a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops! He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place." Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean the room really is cursed? Ever since I moved into that windowless... my sleep has been plagued by nightmares. I feel awake as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? No one at all? To believe, yes, to believe. Mr. Sholmes. Me, Mr. Nardo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Burra, if you recall. The Burra. Ah, that case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. At that time, I was the suspect. But you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe in me? I see, yes, you mean... Because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with a victim in a locked room. Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you've misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only thing I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean by that? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment. Nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right. Locum student Nardo Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself? I miss you. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. I miss him so much. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You were so right, Katsuma. I miss him! Take that case! Take that case! Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? We don't have money for that. Oh dear, there is never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume? If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. It's so precious! Locum student, Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in? The defendant, justice, or the truth? How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruto. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Locum student Naruto, Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruto, that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Okay. Miss Usada? Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. I'm so excited! The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind, but it's time to stop looking backwards. Katsuma believed in me, and I still can't say his name correctly. And Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Suzuki-san has no one. He's all alone, so it's my job to help him, to fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. Woohoo! So we get to go back to the court tomorrow, or, well, for you, next Sunday. Unless you're watching this after, then you can watch it whenever you want. And I will probably forget to put it right here, but there, click there, there. I don't know. See you next time.